So realize that if you're not happy, you are not being you. And I want to give you guys a tool from Access Consciousness that I really love also. Um, okay, so at the beginning of the day, I used to be like, I have so much to do, and this is so serious, and everything has to get done, and da 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 da. And I would be miserable sitting at my computer, creating my Access Consciousness class graphics, things like that, working on descriptions, working with Liga, who puts everything together. And I was like, I don't like this. And I thought I had to do that. And have you ever tried creating an Access Consciousness class from misery? It does not work well. It kind of goes against the point of an Access Consciousness class. And it's like those choices and those energies that you are when you're creating an Access Consciousness class are what allow the class to grow or die. And so I'm like miserably creating Access Consciousness classes. And I was like, Gary, I can't do this. I don't like this and I'm miserable. And Gary said, ask this question. He said, what can I choose today that would make me happy right away? And I was like, okay. So I wrote it down on a sticky note. And I put it in a couple sticky notes, and I put it a couple places around my house. And I actually did it. Even though I thought I was going to be so unproductive that I was going to die in poverty, I did it anyway. So the first time I asked, what can I do today that would make me happy right away? I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever it is has to make me happy right away. So I'm like, well, that's not going to be sitting at the computer making a graphic. I'm like, I want some ice cream. So I go to the freezer and I eat some ice cream and I'm like, I'm really happy right now. And then I'm like, what do I want to do next? What else would make me happy? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so frivolous. And I'm like, what's the next thing that would make me happy? And I was like, having a bath. So I went to my bathtub and I had a bath during the middle of the day. And I was like, I'm really happy. And then I was like, what else would make me happy after I finished my bath? And I'm like, I'm going to go on a bike ride through the forest. And I'm like, this is insanity. I'm going to die in poverty. I'm never going to get anything done ever again because I'm going to be so happy all day. And so I went for a bike ride. And then after the bike ride, I came home and I did 3 graphics and 3 class descriptions as if by magic, instantaneously, got a bunch of stuff posted, got a bunch of accounting done, finished everything in an hour, as much as I would have gotten done in a whole day. And then I went and made supper for my family, which I love to do. I love to cook. And then every day I started to live by that question. And I would wake up and I'd be like, what do I want to do now? And I'm like, coffee. I love coffee. That would make me so happy. So I would go and I would have coffee and I'd be so happy to have coffee. And then I'm like, what would make me happy now? And I'm like, the grocery store. I want to go to the grocery store. So then I would go to the grocery store and I would be happy. And then I'd be like, I want to go shopping. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go shopping. And I just kept doing what made me happy. And I would have to pick up my daughter from school, drop my daughter off at school, help my son with his auditions, whatever I was doing. But it's like everything turned into happiness. And the things that I quote unquote didn't like to do have pretty much disappeared out of my life. I used to wake up in the morning being like, I have to work on this Access Consciousness business for at least 8 hours because that's what this reality tells me. Not, I'm going to have a bath, I'm going to have an ice cream, I'm going to have a coffee, and I'm going to go shopping. And then everything gets done within an hour because I'm so happy and I'm in this stream of creation and I'm working with the universe rather than working against the universe. Okay? Different world, different reality, different life.